Heterosexual and white are the defining factors of the American romantic comedy film. A white woman falls in love with a white man after one meet-cute accident, and they go on a whirlwind romantic adventure that takes a turn for the worse, but is conveniently resolved by the end of the movie. The straight white couple is the most accessible and palatable to the general audience. Their relationship is not perceived as perverse, dirty, or unconventional. However, the two parents and misrepresentation, people of color, and sexual orientation makes it appear that only hetero white people are getting into these wonderful chance relationships. Young viewers are especially susceptible to getting the impression that movie relationships are the same as real-life relationships, so they must follow the criteria in the movies or mirror the actions of the couples. Juno, Moonrise Kingdom, and Lisa Frankenstein share the same patterns of heteronormativity and white leads, while being centered on young love between teenagers, though they should note these are definitely not the epitome of love that they should be hoping for. Starting with 2007's Juno. Offbeat high schooler Juno becomes pregnant after having sex with her good friend Polly Bleecker. Instead of aborting the baby, Juno makes a decision to give it up for adoption to a couple that is seeking a child. A complicated relationship forms between Juno and the couple, in addition to the already complicated relationship Juno has between her and Polly. Juno McGuff is a 16-year-old straight white girl who is not in a serious relationship with Polly Bleecker, a 16-year-old straight white boy. They are established friends, but it is not clear to Juno, at least to Juno, that they were ever in a real boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. As for a couple who Juno plans to give the baby to, they are both middle-aged, straight, and you guessed it, white. The friction of the movie stems from Juno's blunt, crude humor and sarcastic wit, as she pushes Bleecker away from being involved in her situation, as well as giving him mixed signals about how she feels about him. Moving on to 2014's Moonrise Kingdom. On the fictional island of New Penzance, rogue khaki scout Sam Shakusky and introvert Susie Bishop are in love, so they devise a plan to run away together, which causes the residents of the island to go into full panic mode and search for them. Sam is a 12-year-old straight white boy who met Susie, a 12-year-old straight white girl, one time forever ago, and they fell in love over time through writing letters to each other. Those on the hunt for the kids include Susie's parents, an older straight white couple that do not show much affection towards each other. The mother, Mrs. Bishop, is in fact having an affair with island police officer Captain Sharp, an older straight white man leading the search for the children. Meanwhile, Mr. Bishop is becoming suspicious of his wife's behavior with Captain Sharp. Sam and Susie's running away together is not only because of love, but also because they are both troubled children. Sam is not liked by his khaki scout troop, nor his foster family, while Susie is a basket case to her own family. Lastly, 2024's Lisa Frankenstein, that is actually set in the 1980s, focuses on a stormy night where a corpse of a young man is brought back to life and seeks out the town weird girl Lisa Swallows, who has been caring for his gravesite. Together they form a friendship and go on a small killing spree to make the creature whole again, to get even with those who have wronged Lisa. Lisa is a straight white high school senior girl who likes things like death, which explains her affection for the creature, a 19-year-old straight white male corpse from the Victorian era. Lisa has a stepsister Taffy, who is also a straight white high school girl, but she contrasts with Lisa as she is the popular cheerleader type who likes to party. However, she does love Lisa a lot. Lisa's love interest, who she is too nervous to talk to, Michael Trent, is a straight white high school boy who is perceived as the good-looking dark intellectual, which was what makes him stand out to Lisa. Lisa faces the challenges of secretly taking care of her new corpse friend, evading the authorities who start to search after a murder has occurred, while all dealing with her family life, specifically her stepmother who strongly dislikes Lisa's inconsiderate behavior towards her. Juno and Moonrise Kingdom are both rom-com dramas, so the characters are fun and quirky, but at times they are put into difficult situations that require them to get serious and provide a greater look at them as individuals. Lisa Frankenstein is also a rom-com, but with a horror aspect of bringing back the dead, though the characters are more impacted by the period of the 1980s as they are insanely dense and over-the-top oblivious to be played for laughs. When watching romantic comedy movies, it's easy to get swept up in the fantastical hopes of love, but there needs to be a reality check to ensure it doesn't set the standards for relationships exceedingly high or unbelievably low. The quote, toxic takeaways from these movies are these checks. They put into perspective what romance in movies really is when looked at from a non-theatrical point of view. In the three movies mentioned, the takeaways to be wary of are that of limerence is the same as love and the repression of feelings. Limerence means that there is the one out there for someone, and it doesn't matter if the feelings are reciprocated or not. That then makes it unrequited love that can lead to obsession and fantasy about the person rather than ever creating a real relationship with them. This goes hand in hand with the repression of one's true feelings. Instead of ever having an open conversation, mixed signals or indirect communication can serve as pointless in trying to build a relationship. Looking at limerence first and Juno, limerence in the movie is actually a belief that Juno holds rather than something that takes place. Juno and Bleecker are already in an established friendship before Juno becomes pregnant and before Juno realizes her feelings for Bleecker. There is no one-sided obsession or attraction or fantasy made up of each other, as they've known each other for a long time. As for the couple that Juno's supposed to give her baby to, Mark and Vanessa, they begin to have problems that Juno cannot believe. Mark shares with Juno that he is leaving Vanessa and is moving out, and he hasn't been in love with her for a while. Juno freaks out as she doesn't want the baby to grow up in a broken family. She tells Mark that if he was in love with Vanessa before, when they married, then he could be in love with her again. She also makes a comment saying that he's old and he should be able to handle being a dad. This ordeal happens after Juno had a fight with Bleecker about him seemingly not caring about her, even though she does not show her own appreciation towards him either. Juno has a breakdown after everything as it becomes too much. She goes to her dad with the problem and he explains to her that the perfect one is the one who loves every side of you no matter what. Juno realizes that Bleecker is that one for her and that the baby will be loved just enough by Vanessa alone. This shows the audience Juno's growth from her situation as a crass teenager to a caring one who wants to make things right for people around her, to make them feel loved. In Moonrise Kingdom, limerence is a bit tricky to discern as Sam and Susie mutually believe that they are meant for each other. There is no one-sided obsession. Unlike Juno, where Juno and Bleecker became friends to boyfriend and girlfriend, Sam and Susie met unexpectedly and were immediately drawn to each other. They learned more about each other as they wrote letters about their lives and how they feel in them. Together they devised a plan to escape their lives and form their own together. When they meet up for the first time, since they initially met, they act like their age, friendly, excited, and happy to be together. Then as time goes on, they do more romantic couple activities. However, their love is unrequited, which falls under limerence. Susie's parents are livid with her for running away and bar her from seeing Sam ever again. She is able to sneak away, though, to see him, which prompts another runaway together where they actually get married this time, as they feel so strongly about each other after all they've been through. Sam and Susie's childlike adventure keeps the audience on their side as they are young and in love, which is a universal experience. And the unbelievable amount of determination that they have to remain together is endearing, as it shows how younger people become very attached to each other when they are not loved by anyone else. Lisa Frankenstein has a clear line of limerence that is present throughout the entire movie. Lisa has a strong infatuation with mysterious Michael Trent at her school, although she has never had a full-on conversation with him. When she meets him at a party for the first time, she is nervous and tries to seem cool by drinking, but that cuts their interaction short. Then when he shows up to her work, she is again awkward talking to him. At school, she shoots him looks and tries to flirt with him, but achieves little to get his full attention. When it comes down to a wire of her trying to evade the authorities, she makes the decision to have sex with Michael before she is caught, as she truly believes he is the one for her. Lisa's relentless pursuit for Michael's affection is the definition of limerence, as she builds him up in her head as an amazing cool guy who, like her, is off-putting and different from everyone else. Her fantasy version of him disappears, though, when she finds out her stepsister Taffy has been seeing him behind her back. Lisa confronts Michael that he's only attracted to girls like Taffy because he believes that he could be the only interesting one in the relationship. Lisa's quick 180 changes the audience's idea of Lisa as she stands up for herself without question or too much heartbreak. Yes, she has been pining after him the whole movie, but loses her feelings for him as soon as she finds out who he really is. Lisa is a smart character in the audience's eyes as she doesn't mope around about him not being her ideal man or accepting his actions without frustration. Repression of feelings is the next takeaway in the movies. Juno deals with a great amount of miscommunication that can be placed on Juno's passive aggressiveness when speaking to Bleecker. She makes it clear what she's doing without giving Bleecker enough room to put in his 2 cents. He just agrees with what she says. When he says that after she has the baby, they can get back together as a couple, Juno shuts it down, saying that she didn't know they were even a thing, and that he should see someone else. Then when he goes with someone else, she blows up at him. When realizing her mistake, Juno has a heart-to-heart with Bleecker, explaining how amazing he is, and that she is in love with him. He tells her how amazing he thinks she is, and also in love with her. This happens towards the end of the movie, wrapping up their relationship differences. The audience who has seen this lopsided relationship between Joe and Bleecker get to see them finally have a meaningful conversation that defines what they are to each other. On the contrary, in Moonrise Kingdom, there is a great deal of expression of feelings between characters Sam and Susie. Their open communication begins immediately when they start to send each other letters. Then when they meet again, they share everything that they know and why they are doing what they're doing. They're not hiding anything from each other all through the movie. However, Susie's mother, Mrs. Bishop, is the one hiding the affair with Captain Sharp from her husband and doesn't bring it up for a good while, even when Mr. Bishop seems to already know. When she does apologize for what she has done, her husband is cold to her and in a state of self-pity. Mrs. Bishop doesn't push it any further with the problem as they stay together. This contrast between Susie's loving, carefree relationship with Sam and the bleak one of her parents offers to the audience a look at what can become from hiding your feelings. In Lisa Frankenstein, there are two main accounts of repression of feelings, both familial and romantical. First, Lisa is not open about her feelings for her stepmother to anyone. She deals with her stepmother's torture in silence and pays for it by not being listened to anyone in the family and made out to be an even more unstable person than she actually is. Lisa is also not open to Michael about her attraction towards him. She tries to act cool and nonchalant in front of him so that he will find her attractive, but it never works and he ends up going out with Taffy instead. Lisa's lack of talking to others about how she feels about them ends in frustration for her and death for them, which fits the horror genre and 80s camp aesthetic of the movie. The audience perceives Lisa as a shy, weird girl who slowly gains confidence over time with the help of her new friend, the creature. She becomes less afraid of what's out there and takes chances that are to the advantage of her, even if that means killing people rather than talking it out. So as a recap, the two toxic takeaways common through all three films are that limerence is the same as love and the repression of feelings. These takeaways can be seen in countless movies, though specifically in the genre romantic comedy. This repetition, however, does not do anyone any favors as it hammers in the idea to audiences that a relationship must involve the need for obsession and no open dialogue between partners. According to a Forbes article, a psychologist explains Relationship Limerence and Offers a Way Out by Mike Travers, a repercussion of unchecked limerence is that the individual may become preoccupied with fantasies about the limerent object, neglecting the responsibilities and social connections. This can result in feelings of resentment and hurt among friends who feel neglected or excluded. The constant glamorization of characters obsessively pining over their true love in movies excludes the reality of the person's actions. In movies, the character who longs to be with their dream partner is usually supported by their friends to go after them no matter what, even if they are not good friends to them. And if the movie does show the loss of friends, there's always a happy heart-to-heart where all is forgiven. The article highlights this real-life consequence of revolving one's life over a fantasy, and that avid romantic longing is not a sensible way to enter a relationship if it ruins all others. The three films are not the best in depicting healthy relationships among young people, though with a few tweaks they can become slightly less misleading for your audience. According to an article from Rise Work Therapy, Emotional Limerence versus Real Love, How to Date Without Losing Yourself in Obsession, a healthy relationship is described as the following. Steady, balanced connection, feels secure and reciprocal, based on reality in the present, including flaws, comfort and mutual trust, open, honest communication. There is no one-sided attraction or unreciprocated feelings that lead to further fantasies. For example, a change that could be made in Lisa Frankenstein to make depicting relationships more appealing is that Lisa could drop her feelings for Michael after learning that he let her drink a spiked drink, instead of having limits for him throughout the movie. This would mean that Lisa would not feel shy, awkward, or flirty around Michael when she sees him again. Neither would she want to have sex with him before she is caught for the murders. In place, she would be seething with anger when seeing him, and once the creature comes to her side, she can begin plotting revenge on him. This would also mean that Taffy's surprise twist of being with Michael would not exist, as Taffy would take Lisa's side in the matter, as she is a good sister. For an additional unit, I would like to do a vlog about Sigma male characters' effects on young male population. Movies like this are Taxi Driver, American Psycho, Joker, and Fight Club. The male characters of these movies are loners that do not like society, nor do they fit into it. In addition, they are not liked by those around them and rejected by women, which furthers their loneliness. The vlog would be looking at how these fictional characters are actually satirizations of masculinity, but are often misconstrued by younger male demographics to make them the unsung hero that they should embody.